Okay, hey guys. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about my dark year of the soul experience. So it started in 2017, actually. So in 2017, at the end of it, like November, technically it started in November, but if you want to be like specific about it, it started in December. I found out that I was pregnant for the third time at 8 months postpartum, something like that. And the reason, this is why I say this is when it started, is because when I think back, as soon as I took that test, like my heart just like dropped into my chest. Like, don't get me wrong, children are a blessing, but I knew my whole world was going to change at that point. I think I'm trying to go back to exactly what I was feeling, but I just remember thinking, yeah, like my world was going to change. I was just like, I don't know if we're financially ready. What did I do? Like I said, it was only 8 months postpartum, and then with my second child, I ended up with preeclampsia. So, being that it was only eight months postpartum, I was just thinking about my health, like just a whirlwind of emotions. I wasn't happy about it. But at the same time, I didn't really have anybody else to blame but myself, if that makes sense. So, found out I was pregnant, and then pretty much right after, like in January, that's, like I said, from beginning to pretty much the end of 2018, it was miserable for me. Other than having my son, it was just a really tough year. So with each one of my pregnancies, things got tougher. So with my first, I was able to work basically right up until having her. With my second, I pretty much worked right up until having her as well, but I did get induced because of the preeclampsia. And I would say, I don't want to say I struggled with weight, but I was putting on weight rather quickly with her. And then with my son, I didn't have preeclampsia, but I did have postpartum preeclampsia. I'm not sure what that's, postpartum hypertension. I'm not sure what that's called. Oh, but I'm getting off. So in 2018, like I was saying, I'm used to working with my children, and working is important to me because I know that I need to work in order to provide for myself, provide for my family. And so right off the bat, I just could not work the way I was used to working. Like, I had to go from working basically like 35, 40 hours to working like 20, 25 because I just couldn't handle it. I was winded. I had to rest. I just couldn't do it anymore. And it just caused us, I don't want to say that it caused us to take a hit financially, but it definitely did do something to me mentally, not being able to contribute the way I was used to. So I guess I can kind of take it back. So like the beginning of 2018 wasn't too bad, but still just realizing that I was pregnant again for the third time, and I guess I wasn't really mentally ready, it had an effect on me. And yeah, so I guess when things started to really kind of like, I guess, spiral out of control for me was when I had to stop working because I had to give birth. So, you can't work, you don't have any money. We didn't have any money saved up. My partner had issues with his job at that time, so that created a financial strain, and we just like basically had financial issues, like really tough financial issues. Like, we got behind on our rent. Thank God, I feel like somebody was looking out for me. The manager at the time, like, he really did work with us. We were, communicating with him consistently, letting him know what was going on. And, I didn't get his name. I know his first name, but I didn't get his last name. And eventually I do want to find him and repay him because he really did, he really did save me. I feel like some, not even just him, but you know, somebody was looking out for me. But yeah, we've struggled financially, and basically with everything there's a lesson. So within that struggle, I learned that I had to let go of my need to pay bills on time. I had to learn that if we got evicted, we were still going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, I had to come to that conclusion, which I did. Like, it was hard because I would say we were behind from like August to December, January. We were behind on that we were behind for about I guess it's like 4 or 5, 6 months. And towards the end of it, I just, you know, released my fear. I'm just kind of like, if we get evicted, we're gonna be okay. Like, I can go to my mom's house, we'll figure it out. I had to surrender to that thought, you know. I had to stop resisting it. So yeah, we started getting behind in August, and then, you know, things were just really tight. Like, I'm talking about like simple things that people can just go to the store and buy were a struggle for us. I guess one of my issues growing up was with money. Like, I didn't personally have issues with money, but my mom taught me like bills had to be paid on that due date. You should do this with your money, you should do that with your money. And I think that now that I'm like talking about it, I'm starting to realize like that was the purpose of that experience. Not only to release the fear of being evicted, but just to release my fear of paying bills on time, my fears around money. That was my lesson in that time. So yeah, we struggled financially, had car issues, not super bad car issues, but you know, not having money and then having car issues and having to get to work, you know, that contributed to my fragile mental state at that point too. I remember just going to work one day after we had 2 cars, but one car just broke down, and I'm just like, how are we gonna pay for this? And I just remember going to work one day just like disheveled, like mentally like checked out, because I was just over everything that was going on. I want to say everything. So we started struggling financially in August, and then I feel like the cars broke down in like September, along with his work issues. I had just had enough, basically. Just had enough. And I had already gotten really good about car issues, because whenever I would get a flat tire or whenever I would get a car issue before, I would just get anxious. I would freak out about it. But at this particular time, it didn't really bother me, but it was just the fact of like, we didn't have money and everything else that was going on. It just pushed me to the edge, basically. Luckily, my mom was able to help out with some stuff, but I was still just fragile at that point. So October, I feel like, was better. Like, not better, but like nothing really happened, you know. November was okay. December was all right, and I would say December is when I started to just really release my fears as far as getting evicted. You know, like, we did what we could do, and that was pretty much it. And while this was going on, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like remembering things as I move along, but while all this was going on, I was just like, why is this happening to me? Like, I know it's gonna get better, but like, why? Like, I'm trying to remember like all the times that I cried. Like, I didn't cry a lot, but I was just like, I'm just like, why is this happening? You know, why? I know it's gonna get better, but it just really sucks right now. And so yeah, December was not better, but like nothing really happened in December. And then January is when things started to turn around. We did receive a note about if we don't pay the full amount, because they had switched like management companies at that point. We did get a note that was like, if you don't pay this amount, then you will be evicted. And one thing led to another, and everything worked out fine. We were able to get finally caught up. And then yeah, everything just started to turn around at the beginning of 2019. I'm trying to think of like what initiated it, but I guess maybe just the fact that it was a new year. And you know, I think that I learned a particular lesson, me personally. I'm not sure about my partner at the time, but I had learned a lesson, and things just started to turn around. And then also, let me kind of backtrack. I made my vision board at the end of 2018, and I feel like that might have also possibly helped turn things around, because I put my intent as far as, you know, things that I wanted to accomplish out there. So January was started to get better. February started to get better. And then in March is when I made my official vision board. Like, I actually went to the library and printed out pictures and things like that. And I do want to show it one day, but I don't feel like I need to show it right now. And honestly, I do want to do another video as far as the vision board is concerned, but I really do feel like they're important. And for me personally, I feel like everything on my vision board for that year has come true. And that's the thing about it too, is like, your visions will come true, but sometimes it's not in the way that you think. I could speak so much about that. But yeah, so from beginning to end, 2018 was a really difficult year, tough year, the worst year of my life for me, other than having my son. And then in 2019, things started to turn around. I guess I learned some vital life lessons in 2018. And then by doing my vision board and putting my intentions out there, that's when things really started to change. So yeah, that is my dark night of the soul experience, or like I like to say, dark night of the year experience. If you have any questions or comments, you know, leave those down below. Any requests, leave those down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.